How you guys doing? This is Dupree Marcel, and I have news for you guys. So, yesterday, President Trump sent an emissary to Burkina Faso to amend ties. And it went a little something like this. I come today with a message from President Donald Trump, which is to work together to build a pragmatic relationship based on mutual respect and respect for each other's country's sovereignty. And we can collaborate with each other, work together to face challenges and improve our relations. There was a movie years ago, Shaka Zulu, when I was coming up, and one of the most important lines that I ended up going back to see is the gentleman said, "We have something that Shaka doesn't have. We have centuries of double talk." Now, so why now? Now, there's a very, very interesting thing that is going on, and that is with the Bank of the AES. Insert picture. Now, why is this bank so important? Now, let's do simple mathematics and simple numbers. One, in the past 2.5 years since this young man has taken over the country, $12 billion in gold. 12 billion, that's billion with a B. Before then, it was $1 billion that the French would give to Burkina to handle all of their affairs, right? It gets a little deeper, and we're going to go deeper into it as of now. The system that they forced Burkina to sign on to is you have to have 90% of your monies in the French banks. €1 or dollar is worth roughly about 530, 540 CFA francs. It's not worth anything. And it gets devalued at the whim of France. How do we know this? Because they have done it. Also, this is the game book that they've done to their other colony of Haiti. Every 20 years after they would issue a note, it would get devalued. The CFA franc that these countries are using, you cannot exchange it for dollars or euros in Europe or outside of the country. It is worthless. Years ago, prior to the EBT card that they give now, the SNAP program, they used to have food stamps that were given in actual stamps. They give an allotment of money that you are to use for food, and you would take it to the store or the grocery store, and you would exchange that for the stamps. Anyone knows that when you exchange those stamps, they're not going to give you face value for them, because they are not worth the money that they are printed on. If you travel and you can have, if you have dollars and euros, it is accepted by them as a acceptable form of currency. The currency that you have imposed on these people by force is not even usable in your own country. When you control the money because you can print it up, you're never really in debt. That CFA franc is worthless. Now, they have a bank. Okay, follow me. They have a bank. And in that bank, they have gold. Their money most likely will be backed by gold. Printing up fiat money, the dollar, the currency the euro, it always will depreciate in the long run. Gold is tangible. It stays gold millions and millions of years, billions of years. The gold that they are pulling out of the ground was formed when a star exploded. That is billions and billions of years ago. That gold is still here. Uranium that was extracted, 1 kilo of that uranium is sold for over 216 euro. You are paying the government 80 cents for that kilo. So let's get back into banking. The government has to have 50% of their money in a French bank, and the French will tell them what to do with it or without it, because you control where they can buy, sell, whatever. If someone needs a loan, you will have to go to the bank in the traditional sense of the way that we know banking and fill out an application. In order for you to be approved for that money, it has to be reviewed whether or not giving you this money will be a good investment for the bank. You have no collateral. Therefore, it would be unwise of this bank to lend you money, because we are not sure how you will be able to repay this. But if you insist on this loan, we'll give you a super high interest rate. With that interest rate, you are going deeper and deeper into debt. So a currency that is designed to diminish over time will buy less and less product, fueling a system where you need to buy more money and have a larger interest placed on you that you'll never be able to catch up. Ibrahim came into power. The citizens of that state got together and they paid off the loans. They no longer owe the IMF and the French banks a thing. When you don't have debt on your back and you are producing your own food, your own manner of transportation, why do you need said individual anymore? You've had 60, 70 years since independence. How much money have you stolen? Somewhere along the lines of 60, 70% of all of the people in Africa are younger than 19 years old. Regardless of what it is, where you are, the demographics are the demographics, and it will be Africa's century. You have a forked tongue. You cannot be trusted because your words are like the fiat currency. They hold no value. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Dupree Marcel. That's my 2 cents for the day. Stay plugged in, sign in, follow, and I will see you on the next go around.